At the end of the way is freedom. Until then, patience. Buddha. So, being caught in a tunnel and trying to see that light at the end of the tunnel. Depression. I know a lot of us guys go through it, many battles of it myself. The best analogy I can think of is search for that light at the end of the tunnel and be very, very patient. A lot of people have different perceptions of this light at the end of the tunnel. What do you have to go through to achieve that light? What is that light? Why is this tunnel here? How do I get out of it? Why am I moving so slow out of it? How come I'm not speeding up and getting out of it faster? From my many attempts at figuring it out, I've come to realize kind of a more basic approach to it all, and maybe it could help you understand it better. Now, just to be clear, I have never been diagnosed with depression, but I have done a lot of stuff to make me feel better in life. Yes, I have been very depressed in my past at moments, just like all of us have, but not a clinically diagnosed depression. So just clearing the air, but getting back to the light at the end of the tunnel. I've been faced with this so many times, with so many different situations, and the best way I can think of it is just basically the whole basis of my channel, Smoothmen. I had to smoothly get out of that tunnel, because the way I see this tunnel is that light is far beyond your reach, and you're trapped in this tunnel. And the thing with that tunnel is, inside that tunnel, there's literally a waist deep amount of, let's just say, quicksand or cornstarch with water, basically, that you're stuck in. And if anyone's ever even done that science experiment or encountered quicksand, I've never encountered quicksand, but I have encountered the cornstarch with water. The way it works is if you force a body part, or let's just say your hand in it, you get resistance. You kind of get stuck. You can't move as fast as you'd like to. If you just don't move at all, it takes you under. But then once you realize and think a little, you just start to move slow. You get at a certain pace and you're easily moving through it. You're gliding through it. And that's the analogy I would say this light at the end of the tunnel is that I've been through. That just fits so perfectly. Because that light at the end of the tunnel, it's never going to go away. That light is indicating obviously the end of your light. It just keeps getting brighter and brighter as you go towards it. Life gets better and better and better until all of a sudden you see that big light and you just go towards it. Again, with getting out of that tunnel, it does get to a point, and like I said, I've been through this so many times, so many different situations where I'm just like, I am stuck. I'm not going to get out of this. And you cannot go backwards, because here's the thing, there's no such thing as backwards. No such thing as backwards. You cannot go backwards and try to prevent something, or you can't be pushed backwards and all of a sudden you think you're behind. You're not behind in life. You only get stuck, and you cannot move forward as fast as you'd like to. There's no such thing as backwards. There's only being stuck or moving forward. I've just had to learn so many times. Relax, look what's going on, acknowledge everything that's going on, take everything into account, and almost move at a snail's pace. And it really does work. It does. Because I mean, honestly, if you're going that slow, there's nothing left to lose. You're not going to miss anything because you're going so slow. You're paying so close attention to everything. Just have to not care that if you think anyone else is passing you. Nobody's passing you. We are all moving at the same speed. Everyone has this amount of resistance in their life. Everyone goes through these tunnels, but some people are just moving at the same pace more than you are. And that's another thing you have to realize is it's not that they're better than you. It's you doing that to yourself. And that's what helps you move forward. That's what helps you get unstuck, is you figuring yourself out. Right to the bottom where you're relaxed. You're trying to be aware of what's really going on, what's eating you up inside, and you're trying to calm yourself down and then start pushing it, saying you're completely calm. Everything's out of your head. You know this isn't true. This is not going to happen, so let's just take a little step forward and see what happens. Basically defeating your fears, slowly picking at it, moving forward. And if you just get a little resistance, you stop, because you can't move backwards. You can't. There's no such thing as it. So if you're resistance from this, whatever it is, pushing against you, quicksand, cornstarch with water, you don't move backwards because you'll just feel the same resistance. You just stop, because every direction out of everywhere is giving you that resistance. So you're stuck. You can't move anything. So what you do is you just calmly relax, figure everything out, and just keep urging forward. And once you keep urging forward, you get a momentum. You're going at the pace everything else should go. You're gliding right through it. You just get right through it. Now, a lot of men feel this light at the tunnel effect in the situation with meeting a girl. Somebody once told me. Not just men, but women too, obviously. For me, talking to men and women, it's a lot more easier for a woman to attract a partner than a man. There's more men in this world, and maybe that obviously doesn't have to do with it. From what I've researched in statistics and everything, and literally the crap they put out, that's a lot more with helping with men with dating than women. And literally when you see women talking about getting a man, it's half the time of what the man should do. It's obviously right in front of your face that men have more of a problem attracting a partner than women do. big thing that men get this tunnel vision affected on them through this situation. Me, this was my biggest problem when I was younger. I didn't go to any of my high school dances. I went to like one, and I hated it. It was horrible. I never went back to another one. Of course, I talked to girls here and there, but I was so awkward and shy. I wouldn't get past the phone. I wouldn't even meet them in person. I was constantly picked on in school for it. Every dude in my grade looked at me as, you're the dude who cannot get a fucking girl. And they would tell me, and they would say everyone knows. And I'd be just trapped under that quicksand. I'd have people with literal speech impediments who couldn't even speak correctly look at me and say, I get more women than you. And they were right. They did. And that was a huge tunnel vision I had to go through for the longest time. I felt like there's just no way I'm going to attract the right person for me. I'm not going to meet literally anyone. No one's talking to me at all in school. And there's just so many barriers I had to go over. At the point where I didn't even want to try anymore. And the second I would try it, obviously I just get pounded and pounded more quicksand. And just crazy situations you can ever think of. I would lie because I wanted people to like me, because I never thought I was an interesting enough person, and I didn't like to talk as much. So what I would do is I would lie to just make myself seem normal around people. But obviously that does not work. It obviously makes it worse. It comes right back and hits you in the face a lot harder. I lied about sleeping with a girl when I was a sophomore in high school. Like every fucking guy does. And I owned up to it as soon as it happened. I came out and said, nah, I'm sorry I lied. But this girl really couldn't let go of this and got to the point where she rallied up teachers to try to get me expelled because she was so distraught about this rumor that people were thinking I was sleeping with her, or I have slept with her. Around like junior year, where she had teachers like rallying against me basically in a peer mediation class, and I was confronted, and I literally just said what was going on. I said I apologized sophomore year literally, and this was a rumor from sophomore year. And I didn't tell it to them, I had to tell it to my sister's boyfriend who was in the class, who knew I was just a good person and just very incredibly shy and kind of lost and just was not that type of person. And I told him everything, and he basically ended up getting those teachers fired for it. But once I heard that, that's where I was basically drowning under that quicksand, because I heard that and I was like, wow, a girl really held on to the fact that I said I slept with her and was just so distraught about thinking about that being true. That's how bad you are with women. That's how fucking horrible you are. I didn't really date until my second year of college. I didn't want to talk to any women. It got to the point where I was just getting bad with talking to them too. Couldn't really communicate as well. I had to relearn basically. And it obviously got better. You know, I dated here and there. That's just life. Once I got to that point, it really clicked in my head about the tunnel vision and getting through it. Because there was only one way to achieve what I wanted to. And I just had to be relaxed, do what I wanted to do. I couldn't force anything. I didn't lie. I just had to be stone cold moving forward, what I wanted to do with life. And I know it's the way us men should go about it when we face these situations. We can come forth with our emotions. We can embrace them. We must. We have to move forward. Once we embrace our emotions, we know we have embraced them, we've accepted them, we've hugged them. Now we need to get down to the nit and grit and figure out this problem to move forward, figuring out ways to take that next step forward. And that starts with us being calm, relaxed, centered, focused, precise, smooth.